you can't tell me.
Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics, the little short dude, point guard, big ass contract, and you can't tell me, you cannot tell me, Kobe is not turning in his grave right now, that you went and got pregnant by a Boston Celtics. He hates the Boston Celtics. That's our ultimate rival. You telling me you pregnant by Jaylen Brown? How old is Jaylen Brown? Ain't he like 22? 23? And you hitting Kobe wife? Oh my God.
Vanessa Bryant is not pregnant, but instead of the boring denial post, she hit you with the Rihanna meme, lounging in the ocean, drink in hand, and middle finger up. Iconic. But let's get to the problem here. Why do y'all feel so entitled to a widow's uterus? Why do people think women moving on is betrayal? She lost her husband and her daughter in one of the most tragic stories of our generations, and y'all want to make up rumors because she put on a baggy hoodie?
Pam Bryant is straight up heated with Vanessa. At least that's what the streets are saying. Word is she's had enough, especially now that Vanessa's name is being tied to Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown. And those whispers about her being pregnant, oh, that's what really got people talking. The so-called proof, those late-night photos of Jaylen with his arm around Vanessa, looking way more than friendly, spread like wildfire online. But here's where it gets wild. Nobody can even confirm where those photos came from. Fans are zooming in and noticing all kinds of sketchy details, warped hands, awkward shadows, AI-looking edges, stuff that screams fake more than scandal. Still, social media doesn't care about the details. TikTok and Facebook are already convinced that Vanessa is caught up in something messy, and they're pushing this storyline like it's breaking news. And this ain't just about one rumor. It's the latest episode in the long-running tension between the Bryant family and Vanessa. Pam's name keeps coming up because insiders say she's furious over Vanessa's choices, and now with the pregnancy chatter floating around, the fire's only burning hotter. It's almost like every move Vanessa makes turns into a headline that the Bryant family doesn't want to read. And don't forget, Vanessa already fired back earlier this summer. She posted that Rihanna meme, making it crystal clear she wasn't pregnant and was having fun all summer. That clapback was her way of telling the world not to believe the hype, but with new rumors swirling, the drama isn't slowing down one bit. The gossip just won't die down. In fact, it's louder than ever, and Pam Bryant's name is stuck right in the middle of it. But here's the big question. Did Pam really speak out this time, or is the internet just digging up old family drama and repackaging it into a fresh scandal? Because according to the online streets, Vanessa Bryant and Jaylen Brown supposedly got caught slipping. The viral story claims the two were spotted outside some private dinner in LA, with Jaylen sliding his arm around Vanessa's waist while she leaned in close. Way too close for people to call it just friendly. That single moment blew up into full-blown dating rumors, and before the night was even over, folks were swearing she was pregnant too. By the next morning, it was everywhere. Collages, screenshots, blurry videos, bouncing from Facebook gossip groups to TikTok fan edits to messy threads on X. People were slowing the clips down frame by frame, zooming in on the so-called receipts, and adding captions like it was undeniable proof. On podcasts and reaction shows, hosts were dissecting the angles like they were CSI investigators, turning one shaky moment into a full-on narrative. But here's the twist nobody's talking about. Not a single reputable outlet has touched the story. None of the legit sports networks, no mainstream gossip sites, nobody. That silence says a lot, because if this was really as big as the internet is claiming, every major outlet would have jumped on it already. So is this smoke without fire, or is something bigger being covered up? Neither Vanessa nor Jaylen ever posted those pics. No Instagram tags, no stories, nothing. And let's be real, if those were legit paparazzi shots, every agency in Hollywood would have been cashing out, selling them for top dollar. Instead, crickets. No source, no credits, no paparazzi receipts at all. That alone had fans side-eyeing the whole thing heavy. And it didn't take long before people started tearing those receipts apart piece by piece. Warped hands that didn't look human, shadows bending the wrong way, outlines all twisted. The classic AI slip-ups that scream fake to anyone paying attention, which means the so-called proof is shaky at best. But here's the kicker. Shaky didn't matter. The rumor still went viral, pulling in millions of views because the internet had already made up its mind. True or not, people were locked in. What makes this whole saga even crazier is that Vanessa already ended this exact rumor months ago. Back in June, she jumped on Instagram stories with not one but two Rihanna memes that shut everything down in the boldest way. The first was Rihanna, chilling in the water with a drink in one hand, middle finger in the air, captioned, "Me protecting my peace, not pregnant, and having fun all summer." That wasn't just a casual post. That was Vanessa screaming loud and clear, "Stop the noise, I'm good!" And she wasn't finished. She doubled down with another meme that read, "I'm not mean, I'm just not the one." That second post wasn't only funny, it was sharp. A little slice of shade aimed at anyone trying to box her in. Fans even broke it down online, saying the Rihanna meme wasn't just a typical leave me alone vibe. It was a full clapback on its own. The kind of post that says she doesn't owe the world explanations for how she's living. Let's be real. Vanessa already clapped back at these whispers 2 months ago. She's never been the type to just sit quiet while the internet builds a circus around her name. And her response wasn't some cryptic hint either. It was bold, it was loud, and it was a straight up dismissal of the whole thing. So the fact that the same storyline is spinning around again just shows how desperate social media is to recycle old gossip into fresh headlines. But this time, the spotlight isn't just on Vanessa. Jaylen Brown's name is stuck right in the center of it. And the question everybody keeps asking is, if Vanessa already shut down the pregnancy talk, why does Jaylen's name keep sliding back into the mix? The truth, fans won't let it die. Jaylen's name is being glued to Vanessa by pure internet obsession. Those late night dinner pics, whether fake or not, became the spark. Him with an arm around her waist, her leaning in close, and people decided right then and there it looked way too cozy to be just friends. That single moment gave social media all it needed to create a whole narrative out of thin air. And once the internet locks onto an image like that, it snowballs out of control. TikTok edits, gossip threads, podcast breakdowns. Suddenly, it's not just a photo anymore. It's a full-blown storyline that people swear is real. Jaylen went from NBA star to headline scandal overnight, all because of a couple of blurry, suspicious shots that nobody can even prove are real. Fans can't stop pointing out that Jaylen has always praised Kobe, calling his entire career a product of the Mamba mentality. And in their eyes, that connection makes the idea of him being close to Vanessa even juicier. Like, of course she'd be tied to someone carrying Kobe's legacy, right? It almost feels symbolic, and that's exactly why people are eating this rumor up like it's gospel. Then comes the age gap narrative. Vanessa is 43, Jaylen is 28, and TikTok comments wasted no time spinning it into a power couple situation. One viral clip even had fans laughing at the irony of it all. Kobe spent years battling against the Boston Celtics, and now his widow is suddenly being linked to one of their biggest stars. The internet loves a full circle storyline, and this one practically wrote itself. But this is also the exact moment Pam Bryant's name got dragged into the storm again. Fans already know her history with Vanessa, and they're convinced she'd never sign off on this rumored relationship. Everybody remembers the tension. Pam not showing up at the wedding, the ugly fight over memorabilia, the lawsuit, the endless little headlines that painted their in-law bond as rocky from day one. So, when you stack all that history on top of these fresh rumors, the narrative gets even messier. It's not just about Vanessa and Jaylen anymore. It's about Pam's disapproval, family fractures, and old wounds getting reopened in the public eye. The tension between Pam and Vanessa has always been there, and everybody knows it. Even when Kobe and Gianna passed and Pam showed up at the memorial, nobody actually believed that meant things were magically fixed. It was respect, not reconciliation, and the cracks in that relationship were still wide open for the world to see. So now, the second people see Vanessa being linked to Jaylen Brown, Pam doesn't even have to open her mouth. The assumption is already baked in. Of course she wouldn't approve. Fans immediately started pulling receipts from decades of drama, the ugly memorabilia auction fight, the cold public moments, and even Kobe's own issues with his parents. All of it gets dragged back up as proof that Pam must be side-eyeing Vanessa again, whether she says anything or not. Here's the wild part. There's not one verified statement from Pam this time. Not a quote, not a post, nothing. But because this family rift has been dragged through the spotlight for years, the internet doesn't even need her to speak. They fill in the blanks for her, and that's exactly why this rumor lit up so fast. It was never really about those questionable photos. It's about the history. People already believed Pam would come for Vanessa no matter what she does, and the Jaylen pregnancy whispers just gave them the perfect excuse to crank the drama up again. But fans aren't stopping there. They're already speculating why Pam would want to slam Vanessa this time. And the reason they keep pointing to? Timing. Vanessa being linked to Jaylen Brown doesn't just look like moving on. It looks like moving on publicly in a way that puts her front and center with someone tied to Kobe's own legacy. For people who already see Pam as never fully accepting Vanessa, that's all the ammo they need to paint her as the shadow voice behind this whole messy narrative. The internet has basically crowned Pam the villain in this whole saga, and the wild part, she hasn't even said a word. Social media is spinning it like this. If Pam had an issue with Vanessa marrying Kobe, then imagine how she must feel about Vanessa supposedly getting pregnant by someone 15 years younger. Same old family narrative, just recycled and remixed, only now it's attached to a Celtics star and a rumored baby. And here's what makes it even messier. Pam doesn't need to say a thing. The family history already gave fans enough ammo to imagine her reaction. It's like the internet is ghostwriting her opinion, filling in the blanks just to make the story hit harder. That's why this rumor feels stickier than the rest. People don't just think Pam would slam Vanessa. They're waiting for it, like it's inevitable. Meanwhile, while social media is busy scripting Pam as the angry mother-in-law, Vanessa is actually out here living her best life. And none of it looks like the rumor mill is painting it. If you've been watching, she's been everywhere this year. Front and center at Natalia's USC graduation, smiling through family trips at Disneyland, and even popping up at Dodgers games to cheer on Clayton Kershaw. That's the irony. While the internet's obsessed with fake pregnancy edits and AI photo conspiracies, Vanessa's showing the world she's unbothered, moving with her family, and staying booked and seen. But that hasn't stopped fans from dragging Pam back into the shadows, waiting for her to clap back at something she hasn't even spoken on. And it's not just family outings Vanessa's been showing off. She's been pushing projects that lock Kobe and Gianna's legacy in place forever. Earlier this year, she announced her new book, Mamba and Mamba Cheetah Forever, highlighting murals around the world, honoring them. It almost feels like the louder the gossip gets, the harder she doubles down on keeping the focus on her family, her foundation, and Kobe's vision. It's her way of reminding people where her real energy is going, no matter what the rumor mill says. But here's the twist. While Vanessa keeps it classy and rooted in legacy, Jaylen Brown's name just won't escape the headlines. And the way fans keep framing him, this isn't just casual dating talk anymore. They've turned him into a key character in Vanessa's story. On one side, you've got Vanessa balancing family milestones, foundation projects, and the memory of Kobe and Gianna. On the other side, you've got Jaylen grinding it out in the NBA, locked into training, games, and the pressure of being one of the Celtics' biggest stars. His world is all basketball, but social media won't let him stay in that lane. Every time Vanessa's name trends, Jaylen's gets pulled right back into it. Like he's caught in the orbit of her spotlight whether he asked for it or not. And fans are relentless with it. They're determined to tie him to the Bryant legacy, painting him as the player carrying Kobe's torch in one breath and Vanessa's rumored next chapter in the next. Proof or not, the internet refuses to let him off the hook. Those late-night dinner photos might have been the spark, but the obsession really comes from Jaylen's open admiration for Kobe. He's talked countless times about studying Kobe's mindset, wearing the Mamba mentality like a badge of honor. And to fans, that single connection is enough to fuel all kinds of wild theories linking him to Vanessa, because in their eyes, it's symbolic. Kobe's protege tied to Kobe's widow. That storyline practically writes itself and the internet is eating it up. Clips of Jaylen talking about Kobe keep resurfacing, and every time they do, fans drag the conversation right back to Vanessa. But here's the actual reality. Jaylen hasn't posted one thing about her. Not a hint, not a slip, nothing. And let's be real. If anything was actually going down between them, it'd be impossible to hide. Jaylen is one of the most photographed players in the entire league. Every move he makes ends up online. So the silence, that says a lot. Still, the rumors keep spinning. And after all the chatter about Pam allegedly slamming Vanessa over Jaylen, people are convinced Vanessa already clapped back in her own way. The timing lines up too perfectly for fans not to connect the dots. But here's the twist. Some aren't saying Pam's supposed issue is really about Jaylen at all. They think it cuts deeper. Online threads are framing it like Pam feels Vanessa is wasting Kobe's money, burning through the estate, and building a lifestyle she never approved of. And that's where this rumor morphs into something even darker. Not just about a player and a widow, but about money, legacy, and who really controls the empire Kobe left behind. Kobe himself would have never let things play out like this. At least that's what fans keep saying online. And honestly, that angle doesn't shock anybody, because Vanessa doesn't exactly have the cleanest record when it comes to family ties. People haven't forgotten the fallout with her own mother, Sophia, after Kobe's passing. That situation turned ugly fast when Sophia accused Vanessa of kicking her out and cutting off financial support. It painted a picture of a daughter who doesn't bend, doesn't fold, and definitely doesn't back down, even when it's blood family on the other side. That reputation sticks, and it's exactly what makes this current rumor spiral feel dangerous. Vanessa's always been seen as someone who moves on her own terms, unapologetic and unshaken. So when you throw that into the mix with Pam Bryant's long-standing tension and the Jaylen Brown pregnancy whispers, it becomes the perfect storm for gossip to thrive. Here's the chilling part. Right now, everything is just noise. Blurry dinner photos, recycled family feuds, fans putting words in Pam's mouth. But if Pam ever actually speaks out, if she were to give even one direct statement, it could flip this whole story upside down overnight. That's the ticking time bomb people are waiting on. For now, the silence is holding. Pam's quiet. Jaylen's quiet. And Vanessa, she's still tossing shady memes on Instagram like little grenades at the rumor mill. But everybody knows the second even one of them breaks that silence, this won't just be online gossip anymore. It'll explode into full-blown family drama plastered across every major headline in the country. So here we are. Vanessa moving forward with her family. Jaylen locked in on his career, and Pam painted as the silent villain of a drama she hasn't even spoken on. The internet is running wild with AI photos, pregnancy whispers, and recycled family grudges, building a narrative that feels bigger than the truth itself. One wrong move, one real statement from Pam, or even one slip from Jaylen could turn this rumor mill into a full-blown media storm that overshadows everything else. Because this isn't just about blurry photos or TikTok edits anymore. It's about legacies, family fractures, and the kind of silence that makes people believe there's more boiling under the surface. Vanessa's throwing memes like darts, Pam's keeping her lips sealed, and Jaylen's name just won't leave the headlines. And with millions watching, the question isn't if this story will explode, it's when. And you already know, the second it does, BarzBuzz will be right here breaking it all down for you. Uncut, unfiltered, and louder than the gossip itself.